Flexibility and posture is a big part of fitness. And with me to help me out today is my good friend Connie Pfeiffer. Connie, you teach Pilates and yoga, a combination class over at the YMCA. How long have you been doing that?
It's going on 4 years now.
Okay. Now Pilates, to me, I'm thinking you got to have some special table or equipment. You got to go to some Pilates club to do this stuff. Is there something people can do at home? Am I just off on this? Because I think a lot of people have that same kind of conception.
A lot of people think that you need to go and have certain equipment, but you really don't. In fact, Joseph Pilates, who developed this type of exercise, wanted it available for anyone in any place.
Okay, been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing how we get a new spin on things. As I look at people doing it, it sounds like dynamic and static stabilization exercises that are taught in rehab. Great stuff. Can you show us some things that people can do at home and maybe offer any suggestions for our viewing audience today?
Sure, I'd be glad to. There are some fundamental foundations of Pilates that you want to do before you ever start any type of practice. And one of them is to develop your core or to stabilize your core. And so one of the things you can do is press your belly button in towards your spine. You don't want to tuck your hips under or suck in like this, because that makes you just bend forward. Your back stays still and your belly button comes in. It's like someone's trying to poke you and your back isn't moving. All right, also you want to lift up through your pelvic floor, and that gets you steady and stable all through your powerhouse, all through here, including your upper backside. Another thing you want to do, and having a stable core will help, you want to have what I call a box, a nice square box. Imagine that you have a box that comes across your collarbones to your shoulder points, down to your hips, and across your hips. And you want to keep that box square at all times. You want to make sure that your hip doesn't go out like you're holding a baby on your hip. See how my hips go out. You also don't want to do this because your hips come forward. You want to keep your box square. Also, you want to watch your shoulders. Even if you raise your arms high, you don't want your box to bow like this. And if you roll forward, you don't want your box to bow like this. So you want your shoulders down and relaxed. I often mention lengthening through the back of the neck, like you're being pulled up like a marionette. You don't want this, and you don't want to cram your chin in towards your chest either. So those are two of our fundamentals. The third one is breathing, and breathing is very, very important for your exercise. I emphasize the exhale because if you exhale, you will inhale. A lot of people tend to hold their breath. They do. Yeah. They tend to hold their breath. So, but when people say, "Okay, take a deep breath," usually this is what happens.
You know what I tell women? I tell women if they don't breathe out, the pressure builds up and it causes their hips to spread. And I find right away they breathe out.
I didn't know that, but you do want to fill your whole lung capacity. You really do.
Excellent.
And your lungs come all the way down to your ribs. Now your belly button's pressed in, right? We have the belly button pressed in, so that's not going to come out. Opera singers, when they sing, their belly button comes out. It comes out and in. But we're keeping it nice and still so our back will be protected. So what's going to happen is when we take a deep breath and we fill up our whole lungs, our ribs will come out.
So that keeps the abs firing.
Right.
Okay.
Very good. And you want to keep the shoulders down for the most part and the chest from coming out until the very last.
Okay.
So a nice deep breath would be, I'm going to inhale through the nose, then exhale through the mouth. So watch my hands. It goes. Like that.
Okay.
And the more you practice that kind of breathing, the better you're going to get at it. And a couple of reasons for that is to make sure that you have a full breath. It helps with your endurance as well. And it helps me with my lung health.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not had bronchial problems since learning how to breathe like this. Now we're going to put a stabilization together. Imagine that I have a wall behind me, all right? And I want to peel off that wall, and I'm just going to roll down. Now, a lot of people, they might bow their shoulders forward or hang from their back, but I want to protect my back. So I'm going to lengthen through the back of the neck and just roll down, trying to keep my nose as close to my torso for as long as possible. So I'm going to inhale here, then exhale, lengthening through the back of the neck, shoulders, upper back, middle, lower, go down as far as possible. Notice my shoulders are still broad. They're not hanging like
Haven't
that.
dropped them. You're using
Yeah.
the stabilizers here.
Right.
That's what I loved. So you started bending from here, here, here,
Right.
segmentally, all the way down.
Right. And also, I have my navel to my spine, which protects my low back from injury.
Okay.
If ever anyone does this and their back hurts, I would always suggest bending the knees and placing your hands on your knees to support you. Because if there's pain, that's just your body saying you're not ready for this yet. And then to roll up, you inhale, press the navel to the spine, exhale, roll up. First the low back against that imaginary wall, middle, upper, shoulders, neck, and head. And you can do that a couple times. In fact, you can even use a wall. I'll show you. Can I use the wall?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Using a wall, I have about a foot length away from the wall, and my head is against here. Now, this helps me a little bit because I'm pressing my navel to the spine, and I'm pressing my back into the wall, which really helps. So I'm going to inhale here, lengthen through the neck, shoulders, upper, middle, lower, and down. Navel to the spine first, exhale, roll up, low back, middle, upper, shoulders, neck, and head.
Excellent.
Now, some people might not be aware, am I really pressing my navel to my spine? Am I being firm here? Am I being established here? One thing, while I'm against the wall, one thing you may want to do is have your head, shoulders, and backside against the wall and put your hand behind your back. Then take your hand out, press your navel to your spine, and press your spine in towards the wall. And try to put your hand behind. There should be much less room.
Okay. What kind of stuff can we do on the ground?
Okay.